A simple boar bristle brush like this is inexpensive and is perfect for keeping the outside flyaway hairs of your beard nice and tucked inside. If you've got a shorter beard, it's perfect for getting deep down inside and getting, all of the products that you apply to your beard right through and evenly distributed. Now, the thing about that is that it can collect wax, it can collect oils, and we're going to go through the deep cleaning of this boar bristle brush, and we're going to work with the chemicals that we put on our brush to make sure that we actually remove them efficiently. And that means the first step is putting this bad boy in the freezer. Okay, so the reason that we put our beard brush in the freezer is because there's oils and waxes that solidify at lower temperatures, because the first thing we're going to do is scrape out the hairs, and we're going to try to bring as much of that wax and oil with us, and the way we do that is we solidify them as much as possible in the freezer so that when we do the physical removing part, it removes as much as the wax so that we don't have to rely on soaps and solvents later on. But that's the next step. All right, going to have a little bit of a break and then get to the scraping. So the first thing we want to do is remove all of the hair in here physically. Now you can buy a scraper that is specially made for boar bristle brushes, but we don't have to go to that expense. We can just use a knitting needle like this. This is just a fine one, or we can use scissors or anything with a sharp point. You can even use a knife. So all we're going to do is go down each row of bristles and remove as much hair as we can. So putting it right to the bottom of the brush, we're going to touch the absolute bottom, and we're just going to peel up all of the stuff that's trapped right at the wood. You can see there's loads of stuff coming out, and we're going to keep doing this until we've removed as much as physically possible. And you can see on top of the hairs the wax that's built up as well. So that's really important. That's why we put it in the freezer, because there's a chance that this will be quite warm and will just smear onto the bristles as you're trying to remove all of the stuff. So we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to keep going until we've removed as much as possible. And don't be scared of going the other way to remove as much as possible, making your way down each row of bristles. Another thing you can do is use your wide tooth comb to get the surface of the bristles nice and clean. So this is good for lifting off the stuff at the top of the bristles, but not necessarily good for getting down underneath, and that's why we use something else like a knife, a knitting needle, or chopstick, or anything you've got that's pointy. And there we have it. There you can see everything I've removed from this brush after about 1 year's worth of brushing. But there's still plenty of stuff to get right at the base of the bristles, so we'll turn our attention to those now. Alright then, so the next step is to use soap and water to completely clean out as much as possible from the bristles of this brush. Now the thing is that a lot of people say to use beard shampoo. Now, I don't like using beard shampoo. I want to go something a little bit more hardcore, and so all you have to do is use a dishwashing liquid, and that will be the best to cut through grease, wax, oils, and all that sort of stuff. Remember, we don't necessarily mind about drying this brush out too much, so we can go a little bit harder than a beard soap would normally allow you to go. So I can put some in there, and then all I'm doing is putting enough water in so that the bristles are completely submerged, and then give it a nice good mix around. And you should be able to see already that the water has turned a little bit cloudy, which means that we're removing those oils, we're removing all of the built up product that is on the bristles. And we'll leave that in there for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, let's check out all of this filthy water. You can see it's gone real cloudy. And I'm going to use my other camera here to show you exactly what it looks like when I pour it into. And there we have it. There's all of the built up grossness from over a year's worth of use. So this is why you need to clean your beard brush regularly. Look at that. All right, so the next thing we want to do is rinse out all of the sides that are in there. You can see them glistening a little bit at the bottom. So let's just get as much of that soap out as we can before we use our hairdryer to dry off this beard brush as much as we can. All right, so the next thing we need to do is blow dry the beard brush dry. Yes, let's do that. All right, so this is the last step, and it can be a little bit controversial because I've got a PhD in chemistry and I love making things absolutely perfectly clean using appropriate solvents. Now, turpentine is used a lot for dissolving waxes, which are in beard balms and waxes and other things. You can also use isopropyl alcohol if you haven't got this, or you can just use alcohol as well, denatured alcohol, or you can even use a little bit of hand sanitizer, liquid one, if you've got that laying around. But this is perfect for non-polar items and materials like waxes. So I like to put my beard brush in this. Now the thing about turpentine is that it has a boiling point of 154 degrees. It is a little bit flammable, well, a lot flammable, and it means that you do have to be very careful, but painters use it regularly. Don't do it in an enclosed environment. Make sure you've got lots of ventilation. I've got the door open and I'm going to turn the fan on, so you can use it very, very safely, and it's going to remove all of those last little remnants of waxes from your beard brush, and it's going to be much better. And then you're going to leave your beard brush out in the sun to completely dry like a paintbrush, and that's how you make it super, super clean. So turpentine, isopropyl alcohol, or another kind of solvent will also work, but this is my pick. So all we have to do is put enough in just to cover the bristles, and what we're going to do is leave that in there for about 10 to 15 minutes just to get rid of all of the last little bits of wax that are persistent at the base of the hairs, and that is how you actually super clean your beard brush. Alright, so once it's been done, we're going to go out and put this outside in the sun to evaporate off the last little bits of the turpentine from the beard brush itself. And let that dry in the sun. Job's a good 'un. So there we have it. That's how you deep clean your boar bristle brush. Now, this should last me another few months before I need to do it again, but I was absolutely amazed how much actually came out of it, and I can see the wood underneath now, and it just feels so much cleaner. So remember to do yours every few months, and you can make this last essentially for as long as the bristles do. All right then, let me know in the comments what you would add to that, and go check out beardgrowingpro.com for all of your beard questions answered, and I'll see you in the next video.